Okay, hello, everybody. This is Jim Cerny from STUG, and it's 6:30 on Wednesday evening, and we're about to start our help desk half hour from 6:30 to 7, and then at 7 p.m., the regular meeting will begin. So this is the STUG Sarasota Technology Users Group help desk from 6:30 to 7. So we'd like to open it up for questions from anybody that's attending. So if you would unmute yourself and ask your question, who has a question to start us off? Nobody needs help today? Is anybody, a lot of people are still muted. Maybe they don't have a question, but if you do, you're welcome to unmute yourself and ask your question. Okay, Margaret Shane, can you unmute yourself, please? I saw your hand.
Yeah.
There you go.
Right. I'm curious why I see there are 13 participants, and yet my Zoom window, I've got it on gallery, and I'm only seeing 5 of us.
You probably need to expand the window so it's a larger area for the window, or it could be on another screen. There could be an arrow to the right or left that you can click on to see more.
Well,
or a scroll bar.
I thought there was, but I cannot get it off only 6 people.
On the top right, it says view. Do you see that?
Yes, sir.
Click that.
It says speaker or a speaker gallery.
You've got hide non-video participants.
Okay.
Go ahead and uncheck that.
Okay. I think I've got hide video. All right. So where would I find that again? Where I was under view?
Go to the view box.
Right.
And that's a drop down.
Right.
And about 3/4 of the way down, it'll say hide self view and hide non-video participants.
Okay, there it goes. Yep. It was hiding the non. Yep. Okay. Thank you. That's the first time I've had that happen.
That's a great tip, Huey.
Yeah.
How do I know all these little things?
I don't know, but we're so thankful you do. I tell you,
Absolutely.
as time goes by, more bells and whistles come onto the app, and it's always a mystery. Learn something new. Okay, another question. Anybody?
I have a question. How come Pamela Marble's on twice? How did that happen?
I think they're twins.
Pamela Marble.
That's a good question.
Could she be on the phone?
She may
maybe on Pam, 2 different devices.
Yeah, Pam, you can explain, but I have a feeling you probably have like an iPad and an iPhone, or an iPad and a computer. You're on twice anyway.
So is Marlene.
Pam Marble, you're on twice.
She's also muted.
Yep.
Yes, I am on twice because I have an iPad and a computer hooked up, so it makes it
okay. That's fine. Just don't turn the microphones or the speakers on and microphone on both of them at the same time.
Yeah, no, I've learned that. Thank you. Yes, it's terrible. The echoes are impossible. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Pamela. Questions? Anybody?
Well, Jim, I'd like to ask, I don't see that audio device on my screen. Where is it?
Down at the, do you have the menus at the bottom?
Yes.
Of your Zoom screen, way on the left, it'll say audio. Next to it will be video. Bottom left.
Like a menu bar at the very bottom of the screen.
Very bottom on the left.
Right. It's it'll look like a little microphone.
Yes, I see the microphone.
That's the audio. And there's a little up arrow next to it, and it gives you some choices.
Yes, I see that. Okay, thank you.
Funny how those things suddenly appear when we can't find them.
And you don't want to be rude and say up your audio, you know. Any other questions? We're doing well with some little ones here. Who's next?
Bill, would you put your name in, change your name?
Okay, I'm going to be teaching my class next week, and I'm going to be doing a quick overview of free Google apps. Do any of you have a favorite Google free app that you use all the time and really like?
I like them all, but
I,
like
I
them
have
all.
I have I have a favorite Google app. One of my favorite Google apps is an app called Google Meet. Everybody in my family has iPhones, and Google Meet is the default meeting app that sort of it used to be named other things. It in some way competes with Zoom, but I use it primarily for one-on-one, almost like FaceTime for Apple users. So I can video chat with my nieces and my friends and family and things.
Okay, so you're saying that the Meet app is only for Apple products, iPhones, or does it work
No,
with
no, no, no,
everything?
no. Meet works on Android and Apple.
Okay,
It's made by Google, and it allows you to video chat with anybody. And if you're doing a one-on-one video chat with just two people, there's no time limit. So it's not like if, the free version of Zoom, you're limited to a 40-minute meeting. With Google Meet, you can meet for 24 hours with just one other person.
and if you do multiple people, does that have a time limit?
That has a time limit of 60 minutes.
Okay,
And you don't need to have an app. You can do it in a browser.
very interesting. Thank you. Yeah, Margaret Jean, go ahead.
Okay, Drew, thank you very much for that tip. I think that's great. I just had to drop my Zoom application because I was sharing it with one of my other corporation or another nonprofit. So I gave it to them, and I went to get a free copy for my next round, but they don't have it anymore. They're not doing that anymore. So that sounds like a great tool, using Google Meet, because there are times when you want to share with people, at least and visually too. So I think that's really a good one to bring up. Thank you.
Yeah, I did a meet with my cousin this morning. He has an iPhone, and you can, just like in Zoom, you can share your desktop. But he was on his mobile phone, and he was able to share his mobile phone screen with me, and then he went through his photos and showed me pictures of his grandchildren.
Hmm.
So it's a handy thing to have.
Okay, thank you, Drew. And Margaret,
Yeah.
who else uses a free Google app that they like very much?
Steve Parker has his hand up.
Yeah, I do. I've got one that I recommend that I came to sort of roundabout through Huey. One of his favorite apps is Evernote for taking notes, and I used that one as well and found it to be fairly good until the free version only worked on one device. So it meant I couldn't use it on my phone and transfer stuff back and forth that way, which
Yep.
made it pretty useless. So I looked for one on Google, and Google Keep, I think, actually does a better job than Evernote does, or at least it does for me anyway.
Yep.
So
Yep. Google Keep is
yeah, if you're not using Evernote and wanted something that can do shopping lists or just dump your notes or web pages or anything in there, you can use Google Keep essentially the same as Evernote does.
Mm-hmm.
I
And
know
I
the reason.
assume that
I
that's
know the
not,
reason Huey stuck with it because he's got thousands of notes in there and he didn't want to abandon all
25,000
that.
plus.
Yes, exactly. So
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
gotta put those
that's
notes,
how they get. That's how they get you.
you gotta
I
put those
migrated
notes
off
in
of
your will,
Evernote.
Huey, so somebody gets them.
Yeah.
Well, the neat thing about Google Apps is they work on multiple devices. If you can get to the internet, you can use the Google app. And I have not used Meet or Google Keep. Do those also work on other devices if you go through the internet?
Yep, I use it on
Yeah,
my
all you
iPhone.
need, yeah. Google Keep
Yeah,
works in a browser, so it'll work on anybody's computer.
yeah, the good thing I like about Google Keep is it's got the thing for shopping lists, the same as Evernote did, where you can just, it's got a checkbox, and you just tap the checkbox that you bought that, and it moves it down to the bought, as you know, that sort of thing. And it works the same as it does in Evernote, which is good.
Okay,
Yeah,
great.
and it works on the Mac, it works on Windows, it works on your Linux, it works everywhere.
But Evernote, of course, only does it now if you pay for it. So
Yeah, it's if you're looking for something that's a more full-blown product like Evernote, I would check out a product called Joplin. That's what I moved to from Evernote. Um, you can directly import your Evernote notebooks and have all the same data.
Very interesting.
Would you name that again? What's it called?
Joplin, Joplin.
Thanks, Drew.
Okay, thank you, Drew. Does somebody else have a favorite Google free app? I'll tell you my favorite if nobody, oh, Bill's gonna say something. Bill Crow.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what's the one Google has? Google World, Google what?
Google Earth.
Google Earth.
Earth.
That
Yeah.
was
Oh,
my
that's a
favorite.
fantastic. Yep, yep,
and Google Maps, of course.
They work
Yep.
together now.
yes, they do. One zooms right into the other.
Yeah, you can
And
click on
just
maps
a
and get Google
comment.
Earth and vice versa.
What
Just a
what
comment.
amazed me the most on Google Earth is the level of detail that they've got.
I know.
This is astounding. The house, our house, has a clothesline thing to it with a wheel that the line goes round, and this thing is no bigger than your hand. You can actually see it on Google Earth. It's I mean, to that resolution, it's quite astounding.
One of the things I like about Google Earth, there's a lot of things I love about it. If you're, say, you're looking over a city or a road or something where you can zoom in, and there's a little yellow man. You can drag that yellow guy and put him on any blue road that's on Google Maps or Google Earth, let's say Google Earth. And when you place him there, Google Earth zooms all the way down to what's called a street level view. And it's like you're standing in the middle of the road at exactly that spot where you dropped the little yellow man.
Yeah,
And-
except it's the green circle he's standing on, though, not the guy
Okay.
himself.
When you're there, you can zoom all the way around 360. You go around 360 to pan and zoom in and out.
We lost
To get
your
the
audio,
details.
Jim.
You can raise it up or down. It is really amazing. And I haven't done it
Can
yet.
anybody hear him?
Yes.
Yeah,
I can
Yes.
I
You
can
hear
hear him
me?
fine.
Okay. And I heard that there is another option where it's going to be a Google Earth history, where you can go back in time and
Oh.
see what the streets looked like in the past. I
Yeah,
don't know how they're going to do that. I
yeah,
haven't
you
tried
can
it yet.
already. Is that
But
the
it's
same
there, right?
timeline you're talking about, right?
Timeline, yeah.
Yeah.
So if you haven't used Google Earth to explore cities or canyons or the Alps or Antarctica or anything, you get more detail in the populated areas. If you zoom in on a Grand Canyon or something, you don't get as much detail because they use their resolution for the most populated areas.
well, it's tough for them to drive that Google van over the Grand Canyon.
It is. They use a combination of airline photography, satellite
Oh, there you go.
photography, van photography, and they all overlap. And I was watching one of these shows on YouTube that happened to be about casinos, but they have thousands of cameras in a casino, and they no longer need to go to camera A to see what that camera sees, or to camera B and see what that camera sees from a different angle. All these cameras work together, and you merely zoom in on what you want to look at, and it'll show it to you from any angle that you pick to zoom in on what's going on in the casino. So it's amazing that they can get these cameras and these images to work together, and they do.
Just one comment, Gene. I checked on Zoom, and Zoom still offers the basic account for free. So I'm not sure what problem was had trying to get a free account, but you can still get a free account.
Yeah, I was on with a representative transferring my account, the rest of my account to CSTK Association. And I said, when I do this, I won't have one here. How about helping me get a new account? And he said, we don't do free ones anymore. That's exactly what he told me. I know.
That's not true. That's not true.
Yeah. Well, I'll go get one because I like it.
I still have one. I still have one. This is Pam Marble. They transferred me to a Zoom workplace, but I use it regularly with my group, and it is still the 40-minute limit, but we find we can often get back onto it again.
Okay, so it's just a different version, you're saying?
Yeah. That's what they asked me to upgrade to a Zoom work. My friends are not on it, but I am, so I'm not sure. But I've never paid for it.
All right, sounds great. Thank you very much, guys. Appreciate
the
that.
Google account for everything, I think, is 15 gigabytes. Is that right? That's free. And then after that, then you have to pay a nominal amount.
Or get another account.
Yeah, we get another account. I've been on Google for years and years, and I have Google Photos, which takes up 2/3 of my account memory space. And everything else, the total amount, I'm at 10%. I'm nowhere close to being full.
No, just another favorite account there is Google Photos.
Yeah, that's the big hog for me, Google Photos.
Yeah.
Google Photos allows you to have every device that you use that takes pictures. That would be your iPad or iPhone. You can set it so that it automatically copies all the photos to Google Photos. If you delete them from your device, they'll still be on Google Photos. If you delete them from Google Photos, they will be deleted from your device unless you change some settings. But that's the way mine works.
Yep.
Love Google Photos.
Yep. And to be on the safe side, what I do is I have my photos going to Google, but I also have them going to Microsoft automatically. So when I am if I take a photo with my phone, immediately on my Windows computer inside my pictures folder is that picture.
Yep.
Bill has his hand up.
Yes, go ahead.
Well, I just wanted to follow up on the Google Photos thing because there's a recent addition to that allows you to selectively erase people or objects or anything that you don't want in your picture. So I was recently at a place where they had some old 1930s cars and there were people around it. So I took the picture anyway. And then when I went into Google Photos, I was able to get the people out of it. So now I got a nice photo of the car.
Yeah, it's called the Magic Eraser.
Magic Eraser, yes.
Very good. Any other favorite Google apps that people are using? You guys are helping me out with my class material very well here.
Yeah, I use Google Voice.
Do they still have Google Mars? You ever seen that?
Again, I'm not
Google
familiar with
Mars? Yeah. One of the science fiction writers, I think it was Arthur C. Clarke, he used to use that one all the time just to see the terrain on Mars. I don't know if it still exists anymore, but it was pretty good when it first came out.
If you look for it, look for the moon as well. See if they have the terrain of the moon on there.
Yeah,
Huey, you have
probably.
your hand up.
Yes, I do. I use Google Voice, and that creates a Google phone account. It gives me a number, it gives me voicemail, and you can then forward it to your regular phone. So you can have a second phone number, but if you don't want to do that, you can just have it be like an answering machine and use Google Voice for that. I happen to have a piece of equipment that I've had. They don't even make it anymore, but I've had it for 10 years now, and I can it connects to my Google Voice number, and I plug in a regular phone and I can actually use a phone with it. But that piece of equipment is no longer available. So if it breaks, I will no longer be able to do that.
Uh,
But it
And
gives
that
me
Google
an extra.
Voice is available any place that you can get to the internet.
Yep, and what you can do with it is you can pick and choose whatever area code you want it to be from. So if
yeah.
you don't, and there are some area codes that are no longer available because they're full, and so they're not available uh, for either Google Voice or for some of the others. So, but you can choose. Let's say you want to pick a Las Vegas phone number. You can do that, and you can give your number out with the Las Vegas address.
And doesn't Google Voice allow you to call overseas?
I don't. I believe so, but I don't know. I
Yeah,
know you
I
can.
don't,
You
I
can
don't know
call
if it's
Canada.
free or there might be a nominal fee, but I don't think so. Um,
I think once you're on the internet, you're on, right?
well, it all depends upon whether you're calling a landline or a cell phone or somebody else's, if it has to get off the internet and go to a local carrier, then there might be a fee.
That makes sense.
I did use it for overseas. I don't remember if I got charged. But it basically like England or something like that. It wasn't, wasn't an off the world country. Moldova. It was England, and it went through. I'm pretty sure I didn't get charged.
Good.
Phil has his hand up again.
Yes. Well,
Yeah, this must be what's used because of all the potential spam calls I get. I get probably a dozen a day where there's nothing but a phone number. And of course, when you pick up the phone and expect to hear somebody say something, that's just a silence. So I'm sure they're selecting local phone numbers in order to do that, and this may be one of the things they're using to do it.
They have ways of spoofing phone numbers. They don't even have to own the phone number, or may not be registered to them. It may just be yours, and they just are able to copy it and just use it.
well, they just go down a list. They don't care if a number's good or
It's
not. They just
there.
try
There is
them all.
no. Yeah, there is no they. It's all done with computers.
Computers. Okay, maybe one or two more quickie questions. Anybody? Comments about Google anything?
What else is there?
Real quick, the Google Drive, which is the repository online, you can put any files up there. But Google Drive also allows you to do Microsoft Office type apps. I think Google Sheets is Microsoft Excel. Google Docs is Word document. And if you save these things on there and you use their format, you can download it as an Excel spreadsheet. You can download it as a Word document. But the big advantage that Google Drive has with files and documents or whatever you want to share is you can share these documents with other people that have a Google account in real time. And you can all have a meeting and update the same document at the same time. And Google will remember which person made which change to the document, which can be pretty powerful. I have not
Yep.
used that, but my wife has and says it's fantastic.
Bill, you have your hand up again?
Yeah,
Yes, I guess the question I have is, when do you know when to delete apps or files or whatever from your hard drive or from your start menu? Because sometimes you get something that's got a date of 2021 on it, or 2022, and on up to the current 2025. So are these changes to the original, or is this a complete new file they're sending you that you don't need to keep the old file now?
by app, you mean an application, so I guess
Right.
the term wouldn't be a file, but an actual application.
Yeah, like, well, say C++, I think I've got files going back, or apps going back to 2015 all the way up to the current time. So I'm just wondering if these are minor changes to the original, or are they sending you a complete new C++ app?
That's a good question. My only knowledge is that if you have an app, you get updates to it, but you don't get a brand new app. You get the same app that's been updated. I have not heard of having previous apps like C++, which I don't use. Huey, do you have experience with old
that's a
apps hanging around?
That's a programming language, and I don't do that. But some programs will give you a whole new copy and just overwrite the old one, but keep the data. Some of them just update certain files in the program. Each one's different, so you really need to check with what program you're referring to find out. But in general, like I have Snagit. Well, I got Snagit 2024, and now Snagit 2025 is out, and it's two different buttons and two different icons on my desktop, so I can uninstall the 2024. But that's not true of all programs.
Yes, usually if you have an old version of Word, you don't need an old version because the latest version will open the old files. But as Huey said, it may not always be the case, especially with a programming language that has changed over time. You know, there was Basic and Basic 1, Basic 2, right? And they may not be transient from one level to the next automatically. So you may have to save an old app to make the old files work. But I don't know which files they are. I can't help you with that. And I think we're just about out of time, and which is good because I'm out of answers. Margaret, do you have your hand up?
Wait a minute. All right. What I was going to ask is, those were really good apps. I mean, the ideas that were really good. Will we then do the next step and maybe do one of the classes on something like the Google Keep or the Google Meet? Something like
Well,
a half
what's
a
going to happen on my teaching schedule
okay.
is on the 13th of May, we're going to do an overview of the Google apps.
Okay.
And then on the 27th, the one app we're going to pick is spreadsheets. I think I'll use either Excel or Google Sheets to teach how to make a simple spreadsheet that all homeowners, all people that have a life should know how to use a simple spreadsheet for investments and expenditures, just your basic life finances. So those are the next two classes planned. Beyond that, I don't know, so I can't say yet. But I'm open to ideas. Thank you, Margaret. Yeah, Bill.
You're
What
mute.
I'm doing in the iPhone, iPad class is I've moved into applications. So every week I will be covering 1, 2, or 3 applications beyond the normal mail, Safari, notes kind of applications. And on my presentation today, I will be covering an overview of those applications, and I'll go into detail on each set of them in my classes over the next 4 or 5 weeks.
Well, with
Okay,
that
thank you
covered,
all. We have to hand over to people who are going to be signing in for the regular meeting, and we're 2 minutes over.
okay.
So let me conclude by thanking everybody for your participation in the help desk from 6:30 to 7. It's now 7:02. We're ending the help desk, and I'm turning it over to Huey to do announcements and start the regular meeting. Thank you all.